Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. The direct purchase and pricing question line from you to me and my hand-picked crew. For questions you have about this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today, we are discussing the Sapphire Sandwich, as it is lovingly known. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch with caliber 1863 sapphire crystal and display caseback. All of that in a 42mm stainless steel Moonwatch case. Classical profile, upgraded spec, but the same basic tech and the same classical aesthetic on the wrist. Now, in terms of thickness, this is a little bit thinner than with the Hesalite crystal, 13.6mm thick, 48mm from lug to lug, but if you add these solid end links to the bracelet, and it is a modern bracelet, it is 53.5mm with a 20mm spacing between the lugs. A handsome timepiece and quite comfortable. The full bracelet gives it a more modern aesthetic, as the historic bracelets would have been a little bit spindly and spare compared to this one, so it looks almost robust. It was a big watch by the standards of the 60s, certainly. 42mm would have been enormous, and on the bracelet, the watch has the wrist stance of something closer to 43 to 44mm. The end links really do give it an incredible presence and persona. It looks like a larger watch than it is, even as it fits well on my 16cm circumference wrist. I'd say on the bracelet, wear it on a wrist as small as 15cm circumference with confidence, 14cm if you throw it on a strap. The bracelet, as I mentioned, is a substantial piece. We are far past the era of folded links or pin sleeves. Removable links are fixed by screws, and as you can see, a handsome look with ovoid profile and polished intermediate staggered alignment and satin finished primaries. The clasp itself features a machine single fold with a machined clasp, and it is a twin trigger release. This one can't pop open, nor is one trigger enough to pop it open. You need to pull both in and out, and then there's a anchoring station inside where you can actually swap the anchoring of the bracelet and make some fine-tuned adjustments without removing or adding links. Now, the case itself is familiar to fans of Speedmasters and Seamasters, as this one has changed precious little since about 1965. You can see that the beveled sides are actually double beveled, inside and outside, so you have those lyre-style lugs with the expanding polished outer bevels and the satin mid-case. You can see underneath the bezel, polished, and on the top, an anodized aluminum insert, as ever, a tachymeter scale, calibrated to gauge the speed of things moving relatively quickly. No units given, so this could be miles per hour or kilometers, your choice. The dial, as ever, black matte finish superluminova, and I should mention here we have a sapphire crystal. NASA wants Hesalite because it's harder to shatter, but here on Earth, sapphire makes more sense because it's harder to scratch. The hands are all white varnished, and you can see there are dished sub-registers for chronograph minutes, hours, and constant seconds. Turn the watch over, and this is where things really start to get interesting with the Sapphire Sandwich. Sapphire crystal over the dial is, well, desirable, but a sapphire crystal over the caseback basically changes the character of the watch. This is caliber 1863, which is the 1861 finished to a higher standard. All of the chamfers here look so good they could have been executed by hand, and what would normally be a Delrin chronograph break in the 1861 here is executed in brushed steel. 18 joules manual wind, 21,600 vibrations per hour, cam-actuated lateral clutch chronograph, 48-hour power reserve, 50 meters water resistant. Let's see how close we can get without corrupting the focus here. This is a truly awesome looking movement, and I do mean that. If you were to take the same level of finish and fit it to a Frédéric Piguet going into a Blancpain, the bridges in particular would look right at home. You have Côte de Genève, you have polished screw heads, satin finished chronograph, yoke, chronograph cam, and chronograph levers, including hammers for recentering the heart cams at center. And the nice thing about a manual wind chronograph with a lateral clutch is that you can really see and enjoy the entire works. Everything is visible, and the mechanism keeps no secrets. You can see the clutch moving into and away. You can see the cam system just below my finger, and you can see the lever system, including the recentering hammers that fall at center when you zero the chronograph. It is an incredibly good looking watch inside and out, and I wish I could show you the case back because the Lemania 1873 based 1863 is probably the best finished movement Omega offers outside of the high horology tourbillon pieces and the revived 321. So aside from the revived 321 in its platinum application and a tourbillon, you're looking at the best finished Omega movement in Omega's most iconic watch. Again, everything but the sapphire crystals still used by NASA today. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing and purchase details. And we are back with the Moonwatch. Note the fully loomed chronograph seconds hand. Every chrono should have that.